If I were to use a quote from another Coen Brothers movie to describe Drive-Away Dolls, I would use the line that Maude Lebowski gives when she's talking about her own art. She says that it has been described as strongly vaginal, which bothers some men. The word itself can make some men uncomfortable. And that's definitely at the heart of Drive-Away Dolls, which is a neo-noir road trip farce and is about lesbians. And if you are not comfortable with a sex-driven road trip movie or lesbians, first of all, get the hell off my channel. But second of all, you're not going to enjoy this movie. This is not a take your mom or your kids to this movie, although I don't really feel like any Coen Brothers movie is a take your kids to it movie. But a friend of mine was asking if they wanted to take their mom to Poor Things, and I was like, don't take your mom to Poor Things, and don't take your mom to Drive-Away Dolls either. You're not going to have a fun experience, and you won't be able to fully submerge yourself in the humor and the kind of prurient but fun nature of everything that you're seeing. You're still going to get some of the trademark things that I feel like I expect from a Coen Brothers movie. You're going to get the neo-noir, like I said, two hitmen that don't seem to be getting along together, a MacGuffin, witty banter, an all-star cast, eccentric characters, a somewhat complicated series of misunderstandings. So the question is, can you tell where Ethan is and Joel is? Can you look back at the previous films and kind of dissect them from one another? I think you can. A little. I think that Ethan is more likely to have been writing the stories that were kooky and eccentric, like Raising Arizona, which you can absolutely see its influence in this story, particularly the main character, Margaret Qualley plays. Just feels like she's playing Holly Hunter. I mean, at first, it seems almost like Sorkin-esque, like the dialogue that she's delivering is unlike anything that you've ever experienced, and it's also not like anyone else in the world that you're in. But it kind of settles in, it kind of feels more realistic, especially if you remember Edwina, the Holly Hunter character from Raising Arizona. It starts to become kind of like a patois that is familiar and less abrasive. But my favorite character you did not get enough of. I really wanted more Beanie Feldman. I thought she was hilarious. She's only in a little bit of it. She just really steals every single scene that she is in, and that's really not a hard compliment to be like one of the characters I just wanted more of. In fact, this film is only an hour and 20 minutes long, and a lot of people are saying they wanted more. I don't. I loved it, but I love it at exactly this length because it is like a wacky road trip comedy at its heart. It is not a Coen Brothers like deep existential Llewellyn Davis kind of movie. So I feel like this is the correct length for it. It could have maybe had an extra 15 minutes, but more than that, and I think it would have belabored the point and kind of fallen apart. My absolute favorite thing about this is it is incredibly female-driven, but it is not at its heart a feminist message. It just happens to be a female-driven story centering around women. They're lesbians. That is a huge part of the story, but it isn't like preachy. That isn't really like a message film, and I find that refreshing. I would love to see more stories like this, and the only reason I took a half a star off is because some of it's a little clumsy. And I've heard other people make this comment as well. I know, Crystal, you said this in your letterbox, and I absolutely agree with you. Some of the edits are like they use the CapCut app. Like Starfade, twirly switch, okay. And spoiler, cover your ears if you don't want any spoilers at all. There's like psychedelic interwoven scenes with Miley Cyrus, and they do have a bearing on the plot, but I'm just not sure they add more than they take away because they're really abruptly different from the rest of the feel of the film. Still totally worth your time. Highly suggest you get out there to see it. This one was wonderful. Like I said, nice and quick, and I had a really good time. So go see it.